Hey, what's going on, guys? It's FPL Yusuf here, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be going over my final team selection ahead of game week 24. I'm going to be going over my confirmed transfers, but also potential transfer I'm looking to go over. We'll talk about who is the best captaincy choice this week for the double game week, and also my final team selection ahead of this weekend's double game week deadline. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, but without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today on my YouTube channel for another video. Before we get into this one, if you guys wouldn't mind dropping a thumbs up and subscribing down below, it would be greatly appreciated. Right, so let me just jump straight into this with my current transfer. So at the time of recording, which is Friday morning, I have made one transfer already. I made it really early in the week, right back, it was Sunday evening, I think, so the game week was still going on. And that was, I moved Matt Sells out for Jordan Pickford as my free transfer. I think for me, Pickford was the right option this week in particular. One, because I wanted to have a triple up at Liverpool, but not have Alisson in there. But also I wanted to play in goalkeeper for 29. So for me, from now until game week 29, Jordan Pickford is just going to stay in the team. He's obviously got the double this week. He's got decent fixtures all the way up until 29, but obviously does play in the blank, which we're expecting to happen. So yeah, for me, he was just the right pick. Sells' fixtures aren't that great over the next few weeks as well, so it kind of just made sense. I don't really usually advocate for making a goalkeeper transfer, but I felt like there was a little bit more upside with this one. That's why I made it. Obviously, Pickford was going to go up in price, so I did make the transfer really early on in the week, which I don't really usually sort of like saying to suggest to people. But this week, to save team value, because I thought Pickford was the right choice, and also he's going to be in my team for the next few weeks, he came in early. The other transfer that I'm looking to make is Ibrahima Konate. Now, I am looking to get a triple up on Liverpool. I currently have Salah and Gakpo in my team. I did want to cover the defence just. I am still debating with myself. Now, at the time, as I said, at the time of recording, this is Friday morning. I haven't actually made this transfer yet, and it would be Lewis Hall moving to Konate. Now, there's kind of two reasons for that. One, because Lewis Hall does blank in 29, or is expected to blank in 29. Obviously, they're 2-0 up against Arsenal, which, going back to St. James's Park is a great scoreline to be in. Now, I know some people will say that Konate, if Liverpool do what we expect them to do and beat Tottenham, they'll be blanking in 29 as well. I just think that Liverpool have got much better fixtures than Newcastle coming up. They've obviously got the double this game week, and Newcastle are just ever so slightly starting to concede a few goals here and there. Now, my big debate this week about this transfer is this the right week to bring him in? I know it's a double, but they are 2 away games and 2 very difficult ones. Bournemouth are absolutely flying at the moment, and also Everton, it's going to be their last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, so no doubt they're going to want to go on a high as well. So that's the reason why I haven't actually made this transfer yet. If I do, it will be for -4, but I think this one may well lead up all the way until deadline tomorrow morning. So yeah, we're going to spend a little bit more time to try and think about that. But those are my one confirmed transfer and a potential -4. Let's jump into what I think is the best captaincy options for this coming game week. Right, now the big question this week is who is the best captaincy? Now, of course, most of us, if not all of us, are going to go towards Mo Salah. He is the obvious one that we're all looking at for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I think he just has the highest ceiling. He's on penalties for Liverpool. He's probably going to get the most minutes out of everyone. He doesn't really seem to get early subs at the moment. So for me, minute-wise, he is probably the most safest. Now, the people who have triple captaincy left are more than likely going to play him, which means if you don't captain Salah this week and he does go and get a big haul, even if you have him captain against triple captains, you're going to lose rank, right? Because they're going to have the extra advantage with that triple captaincy. But if you don't captain Salah and he goes off, you are really going to take a plummet in rank. Now, I don't want to sound negative or I don't want to put people off, because there is an alternative side to that coin, which is if Salah does blank, for example, and you captain like a Gakpo last week, the upside is massive, because obviously everyone's using their triple captain. If you haven't got triple captain, people are putting their captaincy on him. So there is real, it's risky, but there is a reward that comes with that risk. So for me, I put Salah as number 1 because I do think that he is the most likely to get on the score sheet. I am contemplating going elsewhere though, and my second on the list is Cody Gakpo. Now, I think Gakpo is much more of a minutes risk. Jota's injured, so he's not in the question. Darwin doesn't seem to be favoured, but the fact that Gakpo was the only real senior player that started in the midweek in their Champions League game, it didn't sit right with me. I know he got pulled off after only 50 minutes, but everybody else got a rest bar him. So there is a little bit of uncertainty around, will he start the first game? Is it going to be Diaz on the left, Darwin through the middle, Salah on the right? For me personally, I think that I personally would say Gakpo is pretty much almost nailed to start both of the two. You can never say never, but I think he will, I think he'll be fine for both Bournemouth and Everton. I think he'll probably get arrested against Plymouth when they play the cup game. Obviously, Liverpool will have to go full strength against Spurs because they need to win that game. They are losing at 1-0 in the Carabao Cup semi-final. But I do think that Gakpo and the rest of them will get arrested against Plymouth, and then probably will end up starting the game after that. So yeah, for me, Gakpo is ever so slightly number 2. And this is the one thing I'm a big advocate on differential captaincies, and I always do like going ahead going against the grain, especially as we start to get to this sort of the season. I think when you're starting off and, you know, the season's very early on, you don't want to do anything that could damage your rank too much. But when you're starting to chase and you want to try and make up ground, it's these sort of risks that they could go horribly wrong and you may plummet rank even more, but they also could go extremely right and you could go flying. So I think it depends on what kind of manager you are. I put Gakpo second because, like I said, I do think Salah on the penalties has got that first spot. Gakpo in number 2. The third choice, this one was a really typical one. I didn't know whether to include, you know, like a sort of maverick pick, like a Trent, which I've done in the past before and it has actually worked really well out. I had Cancelo a few years back for Man City and he really did come in with a massive haul for me. I think he got 17 points that week. A goal, an assist, a clean sheet. So this is in a single game week. So yeah, it can work. Trent, I do expect him to play both games as well, which is why I think I'm gonna put him here third over some of the single game weekers. I'd always prefer to back a player with double on captaincy when you get these sort of game weeks, because I just think they have 2 bites of the apple. You know, they have 2 chances. They've got more appearance points, more chances for clean sheet points in Trent's case, more chance of goals and assists in, you know, Gakpo and Salah's case. So for me, 1, 2, 3 are all going to be Liverpool players. We have Salah in number 1, Gakpo in number 2, and I'm going to go with Trent in at number 3. Right, so this is how we are currently lining up for game week 24. Jordan Pickford is in goal. Like I said, he was my confirmed transfer this week. Brought him in instead of Matt Sells. He's obviously got the 2 games, both at home. One against Leicester, which I'm hoping for the big points in, and then against Liverpool. If he can rack up some save points, who knows what can happen? Maybe he'll keep a random clean sheet. You know, as I said, it's their last game at Goodison Park for the Merseyside derby, so who knows? But Pickford, I'm more than happy to have. Like I said, I'm going to hold him for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks anyway, so he's fine in goal. The back 3, this is probably the most uncertain I've seen my defence in a while. So I've got Milenkovic starting up first against Brighton. Brighton haven't been that great. João Pedro in particular hasn't been that great. So, Forest are coming off the back of quite a heavy defeat against Bournemouth. So you'd imagine they'd want to put those wrongs right. They are at home, which they are just a better team when they are playing at home. Milenkovic does have quite good goal threat as well. So yeah, for me, he's going to be in there as my first defender. The second defender is something that I never thought I would be playing when I brought him in all those weeks ago. But it is Greaves. He is playing Southampton. He did score last week against Liverpool from a header. From a corner, and that's what he can do. He has got that threat from set pieces, from corners, so I don't actually mind playing him there. Obviously, am I expecting Ipswich to keep a clean sheet against Southampton? I think if there's anyone that you're pretty much not guaranteed to keep a clean sheet, but if you've got a good chance against it, probably is Southampton. The defenders I've got on my bench aren't really saying it. You know, I've got Timber against Man City. I know it's at the Emirates, but it's still a little bit iffy for me. And then Robertson away to Newcastle at St James's Park. I've obviously got Gordon and Isak, who I'm going to talk about in a bit. So I don't really want to go against that. So yeah, Greaves for me got probably the best fixture this week, and I'm happy just to see what he can do. So yeah, we're going to start him. Lewis Hall is currently on this team sheet, but like I said, there is a high chance that I move to Konate. So if I do, obviously, that's who that third defender spot will be. It will either be Hall or Konate. So that will be my backline done. Then we move on to the midfield. It's the same midfield as I've had for the last, I think, since game week 20, since I wildcarded. Burmo, Gordon, Salah, and Palmer. Salah currently has the captaincy armband, as I spoke about in the previous section, so we don't really need to talk too much about him. Palmer has a decent fixture against West Ham at home. Not really a captaincy shout for me, but I definitely could see a return in this one. You know, West Ham are playing okay. They played they got off to a bad start against Aston Villa last week, but they did manage to pick it up. But I'm hoping that Chelsea will get chances against them, and hopefully Cole Palmer, you know, back-to-back blanks for him at the moment. So hopefully he can get back onto some kind of form. And Burmo, this is the one that I'm really looking at. Tottenham at home. Obviously, Brentford, when they do play at home, are a goal-scoring machine. Tottenham just, I don't know what's going on with them. 13 losses already this season in 23 games. It's kind of crazy. I do think there will be goals in that game. You've got both teams who like to attack each other, and I'm very happy to own Brian and Burma right now. And last one, Gordon. Probably this might be his last week in my team. I may end up selling him next week. Going to hopefully go out on a high with Fulham at St James's Park. And onto the front 3. Alexander Isak, again, you know, same as Gordon, St James's Park against Fulham. I don't think it'll be an easy game by any stretch, but I do think it's a winnable game for Newcastle. I think there is an opportunity for maybe a couple of goals in this one, so I'm happy to own him. Chris Wood, blanked last week. I do expect him to bounce back against this Brighton side because they're not playing fantastic football at the moment. And like I said with Milenkovic, Forest, when they are at home, are a different type of team. So yeah, I'm hopeful that he will get on the score sheet. And last but not least, is our last doubler is Cody Gakpo, an outside captaincy choice. I don't want to say it's 100% foregone conclusion that Salah will be my captain. I am trying to convince myself to go with Gakpo, but we will see come the deadline. But yeah, happy to have him up there, and that will complete my triple up of Liverpool for the double if I make the Konate move. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I hope you guys have a great game week. I hope the double is really kind to you all. If you want to see my transfer, if I do end up deciding to move before the deadline, follow me on Twitter. I'll leave a link to it down in the description down below. But thank you guys once again so much for all the support on my recent videos. The views are doing so well, the likes. I'm really grateful for it. We're so close to 100 subscribers. So if you are watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please, it would help me so much if you just drop a thumbs up down below and hit that subscribe button as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.